I'm not really a team sports guy, but since I grew up in the Deep South, I was forced to play American football anyway. I understand most of the rules. One rule that makes perfect sense is the fair catch. This rule protects players who are about to catch a punt or kickoff because they would otherwise get absolutely clobbered. All they have to do is wave their hand to say, hey, I'm going to catch the ball, and it's understood that they're not intending to run with it. They're just going to catch it. And if they do, it'll be down where they're standing. A lot of people think that that's how jokes work too. All you have to do is say it's a joke, and then you're free from all consequences. Absolute nonsense. Let me walk you through this step by step. But first, I want to say thank you to the patrons who help support this channel. I can't tell you how much it means to independent creators like me to have this support, especially now that just about all the tools we need to make the stuff we make is a monthly subscription payment. I really appreciate you guys jumping on board the way you have. Thank you. So, as I say, let's walk through a little logic. If you agree with me that free speech is critical, then you must also agree that speech is powerful. Otherwise, advocating for free speech would be pointless, and it's far from pointless. As I say, it's critical. And I think that most of you will also agree that anyone wielding power should do their best to do good with it. You know, if you take on the privilege of power, you also take on some responsibility to make sure that you're doing only good. Now, granted, this gets a little murky because it includes the subjectivity of good. If I'm blowing the whistle about a corrupt company, them using their power to silence me would be, from their shareholders' perspective, a good thing. But from my perspective and that of the rest of the world having to deal with corrupt corporations, it would not be good. If we agree on those 2 points, speech is powerful and anyone wielding power should do their best to do good with it, and I don't really see how any good faith person could disagree, then we must also agree that people who say jokes should be careful who they make their jokes about, because speech has power and harming other people, even if it's good for you, is wrong. People comment on this YouTube channel fairly regularly that jokes must never ever be taken seriously, that comedians should be able to say whatever they want, and in a greater sense that anyone should be able to say anything they want to anyone they want, as long as the speaker thinks what they're saying is a joke. And they also think it's fair to signal that something was just a joke after the fact. In this way, they're saying that comedy is a special kind of speech, and I agree. But I think it's more powerful, not less. In fact, I think it's the most powerful way to communicate. Furthermore, I think if someone is a professional sayer of things, as all top comedians are, then they should be under even more pressure to do good, because they're supposedly the top of the game. Now, granted, if you're watching a comedian, you're watching someone in a comedy club, that's kind of a fair catch situation in that you should know that person is gonna say jokes, but that doesn't excuse that person for the content of what they say. If you're good at something, you should be able to do good with that thing. If you can't do good with something, then you're not that good at it. If you could, but you don't want to, I think that kind of makes you an asshole. This is all complicated by the engagement economy and the algorithm which incentivize and monetize people to say the worst shit they can think of. Now, I understand that cruelty profiteering makes money. That's the profiteering part. But there is no fair catch in this game. It's nonsense to say that someone should get to wield the power of speech but sidestep the responsibility for what they've said. It's nonsense at a personal level, and it's especially nonsense at the professional level. Speech is powerful, and comedy is a subset of speech. It's maybe even the most powerful kind of speech, because you can win people over by making them laugh. Use that power for the greater good. Or know that I think you're shit at it.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, like and subscribe, and maybe jump on the Patreon if you want to help me make more. And if you want to talk about comedy writing with people who are trying to do it in a constructive way, we also have a Discord channel.